It's my honor to introduce Mike Gravel. Mike Gravel was born in Springfield, Massachusetts, to French-Canadian immigrants. He served in the Army Counterintelligence Corps and earned a degree in economics from Columbia University. Mike moved to Alaska. Built a real estate business, served in the Alaska House of Representatives as Speaker, and was elected 2 terms in the U.S. Senate. During the environmental watershed decade of the 70s, Senator Gravel co-sponsored or co-authored every piece of meaningful Senate legislation dealing with air, water, waste, and energy. Senator Gravel filibustered the military draft, forcing its expiration. He forced an end to undersea nuclear weapons testing in Alaska, and initiated the national global critique of nuclear power generators. As a critic of the Vietnam War and government secrecy, Senator Gravel officially released the secret Pentagon Papers and facilitated the publication. His defiance occasioned a Supreme Court case, Gravel versus U.S., establishing the precedent that members of Congress cannot be bound by the official secrets of any presidential administration. Since leaving public office, Senator Gravel founded and led 3 nonprofit corporations dedicated to bringing the American people into the operations of government to share the power of lawmaking with elected leaders. He proposes that American voters empower themselves with a national initiative, which would then permit citizens to vote for or against major policy issues that affect their lives. Senator Gravel and his wife, Whitney Stewart Gravel, are residents of Virginia. Please bring on Senator Gravel.
Governor Dean, as a lifelong Democrat, I've been proud on occasions when my party did great things, and ashamed occasionally that it did not do great things. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for the leadership you're providing to organize this party, the Democratic Party, in every nook and cranny of the United States. But I've got a special feeling for you because of the courage that you did in bringing the issue of the Iraq War to the American people in your presidential candidacy. That took courage, and now it's conventional wisdom. I plan to speak power today. Speak to power today. Speaking to you, the delegates who are going to make the selection in Denver as to who will be the Democratic nominee. And speaking to the American people who will then be making their choice as to who should become the next president of the United States. But I've got one favor to ask of all of you. And it's a personal favor, and I hope you'll honor it. And that is that if anybody raises the issue about my age in this campaign, I hope you'll step forward and say, Washington needs adult supervision. But first, let me introduce my wife, Whitney, over there. The love of my life. and my sister, Marie, and between her, that lady with the iconic hat on her head is Granny D. Granny D, the biggest supporter I have in New Hampshire. A lady who at 89 years old walked across the United States on a basis of principle to do something about campaign finance reform. A lady who at 96 has given me some tips on how I should make my speech yesterday. Freedom, fairness, justice, morality, opportunity, peace, all goals of our founding fathers, and concepts central to the character of most Americans. Our founders envisioned a system where the people and their political leaders would be working together to nurture these concepts from generation to generation. Unfortunately, early on, in a compromise to perpetuate the evil institution of slavery in our Constitution, the people lost their power to amend the Constitution or to make laws. The compromise, those who compromised, they were able and they knew that the people would not vote to ratify the Constitution if slavery were included. They also knew that the people, if they had the power to make laws, that they would have outlawed them. The results of this unfortunate moral compromise took away the power of the people and brought about the primacy of representative government as we know it today, with a monopoly on legislative power. History teaches us nations fail when leaders fail their people. The decision to invade Iraq without provocation and fraudulently sold to the American people by a president consumed with messianic purpose is sadly confirms that lesson of history. The Democrats controlled the Senate on October 11, 2002, and provided political cover for George Bush to invade Iraq. The Senate leadership could have refused to even take up the resolution, and many senators who opposed it could have mounted a filibuster. But the fear of opposing a popular warrior president on the eve of a midterm election prevailed. Political calculations trumped morality, and the Middle East was set ablaze. The Democrats lost that election anyway, but more so, the American people. It was politics as usual. Given the extreme importance of any decision to go to war, and I'm anguished to make this statement, that anyone who voted for the war on October 11th, based upon what President Bush presented to them, is not qualified to hold the office of President of the United States. Political leaders must bring two qualities to office: political integrity and moral judgment. If political calculations trump morality and occasion substantial loss of human life, it reveals the sense of moral responsibility these candidates are likely to bring to the office of president. Saying I would not have voted for the resolution except if I'd have known that this mess would have been created. Or worse, saying that the decision was right, but Bush botched it, is inadequate rationale.